Good evening. I'm Angie Bevan.
And I'm Claire Crouch. Kevin, Christopher, and Nancy Cox are off tonight. Thank you so much for joining us tonight at 6. An Amish man is dead after a crash between his buggy and an SUV.
The driver of that SUV is being charged with DUI after the wreck on Kentucky Highway 39, a few miles north of Crab Orchard earlier this afternoon. LEX 18's Kylan Mills has more in the LEX 18 Big Story at 6.
Very sad. Yeah, we hate it so bad for them because, I mean, they're good people.
Neighbors like Amber Saylor devastated this afternoon to see a brutal crash outside their Lincoln County homes.
A vehicle, SUV, had struck a Amish buggy, and right now we do have one confirmed fatality.
The Lincoln County Sheriff says the SUV was traveling the same direction as the buggy on Kentucky Highway 39 when they crashed shortly after noon. The Amish man, later identified as 52-year-old Bruce Troyer, was thrown from the buggy and killed. The horse kept running and was found down the road.
The Amish is wonderful to live beside of. They're great neighbors. My grandparents thinks the world of a lot of them.
We're told Troyer was a father of 5. While neighbors are reeling from the tragedy, they say it's not entirely a shock.
They fly down through here. I mean, it's dangerous pulling out of our driveway, you know, let alone the Amish and their buggies and them going slow.
Saylor now has this message for drivers.
Slow down, pay attention, and drive safe.
Covering the news in Lincoln County, Kylan Mills, LEX 18 News.
The sheriff says the woman driving the SUV has been identified as 64-year-old Mary Carter. She was booked into the Lincoln County Detention Center later this afternoon. Kentucky State Police are taking over the crash investigation.
The search continues tonight for 2 inmates who broke out of jail last night in Bell County. The jailer says they injured 2 guards as they made their escape from the Bell County Detention Center in Pineville. Conroy DeLuche has details.
As guards at the Bell County Detention Center were passing out medication to prisoners on Tuesday night.
This is something that had been pre-planned.
Jailer Gary Ferguson says Matthew Price and David Mosley sprang their cell lock, overpowered one guard, then Bryce told her,
"Don't make me hurt you, just give me the key." And she said, "No, go back to your cell."
The jailer says Price sprayed a jail-made concoction of bleach water, shampoo, and pepper right into her eyes. As Price and Mosley continued down the hall, Ferguson says they attacked another guard from behind.
He was hit in the head and then kicked in the ribs, and then they went down a back stairwell. You know, I didn't really see this coming, and I don't think any of my staff out of these 2. Now, there's some that I would have expected something like this from, but not these 2.
Since October 2016, Matthew Price has been charged with numerous crimes, including criminal mischief and burglary for allegedly breaking into a Mexican restaurant, possession of burglary tools in both Bell County and Lee County, Virginia. In September of last year, he was accused of fleeing or evading a Middlesboro police officer, then putting the officer's life in danger. The other escapee, David Mosley, was accused of receiving a stolen handgun and trafficking in controlled substance. Both are convicted felons. Covering the news in Bell County, Conroy DeLuche, LEX 18 News.
The jailer believes both Mosley and Price are still in Bell County. Police say if you see either escapee, call 911 and do not approach them. Estill County's former high school soccer coach faces serious charges, including rape.
Police say while he was coaching, he allegedly had sex with a teenager and sent some graphic photos. LEX 18's Carolina Buchek tracked him down after court today to get answers.
Former Estill County soccer coach Andrew Hatton came back here to court today wearing regular clothes. That's because he's currently out of jail. He bonded out. And today, when he was leaving, we finally got to ask him some questions.
But we didn't get any answers. Hatton didn't say a word as he left court today.
Any comments to any of the parents on the team? Any members on the team?
According to Hatton's arrest citation, he's facing those charges because an underage girl on the soccer team reported that Hatton sent her nude photos on a social media app, and he allegedly asked her to send photos back. Another underage girl on the team then stepped forward and told police he had sex with her 5 times. When LEX 18 asked him about those charges, his lawyer stepped in.
We're not going to try this case in the court of public opinion. This is a case when you try in the courtroom. So we're not making any comments at this time. Thank you.
In court today, not much happened. That's because this case is now being moved over to the grand jury, and they will have to decide whether or not to indict Hatton. But today, several members of both the girls and boys soccer team were here to watch what was happening. Covering the news in Estill County from the LEX 18 Mobile Newsroom, back to you.
Turning into a terrific latter part of the afternoon for many of us. A few of us, we've got a couple little teeny tiny showers to deal with. They aren't going to last long if you still see them come by your place. We've got one going through Clay County. That's getting ready to go into Leslie County. Another one just north of Williamsburg there in Whitley County. Last one's popped up not far from East Bernstadt there in Laurel County. These are all quick splash and dash, and they're out. Future track from 7 o'clock. We're getting all of this mess out of here. The sky is clearing as we go through this evening. Be a wonderful night. You'll still be able to see the nice big bright planet Mars out there. So if you go out during the middle latter part of the evening, it'll be nice bright orange that you can look up there in the sky and find it. As we go into your day tomorrow, a couple of folks, maybe a little fog to start the day. Mostly valleys, not a big deal. We go through the rest of your Thursday, and with it, sunshine will be in abundance. Temperature is not far from where we are right now tomorrow afternoon. We'll have less humidity though. We're talking mid-70s at the moment, and that is looking spectacular. As we continue through the week, things will begin to change as we head toward the weekend. We'll talk about that in just a minute.
All right, Bill, thank you. The defense attorney for the 15-year-old charged with murder in the Marshall County High School shooting has asked a judge to allow expert witnesses to remain confidential.
Gabe Parker is accused of 2 counts of murder and 14 counts of assault after police say he opened fire inside the school on January 23rd. The attorney says several experts have refused to work on Parker's case because they don't want the stigma of being associated with it. And many people are discouraged from getting involved because of the national gun debate. The attorney also says the amount of publicity and the prosecutor's threats to charge Parker's parents have made it hard to prepare a defense. The motion asks the judge to hold a hearing to determine whether information can be sealed. A hearing on the matter is set for Friday.
The 17-year-old arrested after a chase that reached 130 miles per hour in eastern Kentucky is also wanted for an arson death in Ohio. Ashland police say they were called to a mall to help find the teen who's wanted in Scioto County, Ohio. EKB News reports he drove off when officers tried to pull him over. They chased him through several counties until he ran out of gas at the Pike-Floyd County line. The teen is now charged with criminal mischief, fleeing and evading police, and wanton endangerment. A neighborhood in Falmouth is being overrun by pot-bellied pigs, but the folks at Addie's Acres say they have stepped in to help.
Their work, though, is just beginning. LEX 18's Michael Burke reports from Pendleton County.
Lori Tristan thought she was doing a good thing, and in the beginning, she really was. But now it's gotten completely out of hand. What was 15 pigs to begin with has spawned into hundreds of pigs, all living on one Pendleton County farm.
I mean, I understand, she might have started originally with the right intention.
Lori Tristan, who was hoping to start a rescue for those 15, declined our request for an interview. The breeding at her farm in Falmouth has gotten out of control. But with the help of Addie's Acres of Butler County, she has managed to separate the genders now and fence them all in. This after neighbors had complained of escapees ending up on their yards. But Jody says they may have been a nuisance, but weren't a danger.
These pigs are not feral. All the volunteers that were there, we were all in the pens with them, everything. There was not one of them showed any signs of aggression.
Addie's is now trying to get the pigs to a safer location. They'll need to be spayed or neutered, and we're told most are facing euthanization if something is not done soon.
I have until September 14th to try and rehome as many of those pigs as possible.
Miss Tristan is due in court on September 18th. She is facing numerous charges of releasing into the wild. Covering the news in Pendleton County from the LEX 18 Mobile Newsroom, let's send it back to you.
Donations to help Addie's Acres with those pigs and to get them spayed or neutered are badly needed. We've got a link to Addie's donation page on our website, lex18.com.
A car fire on Interstate 75 caused major traffic backups this afternoon in Lexington. It happened just before 1. Smoke and flames could be seen for miles. Look at that. Traffic backed up in both the north and southbound lanes near mile marker 102. Luckily, no reports of any injuries, and the scene has now been cleared. School is back in session at the University of Kentucky.
Yeah, you might have noticed if you drove near campus this morning, there was more traffic and pedestrians, of course, as students headed to class for the first day of the fall semester. A group of sophomores we talked to say that they're excited to see their friends again after a long summer break.
I'm excited for college. I was not excited for like high school or grade school or anything. So
Yeah.
it's like a good excitement, not like anxious.
Do you want me to take it? Yeah.
Many students have been on campus since last week when they were allowed to move into their dorms.
All right, coming up, what would you do to get free Chick-fil-A for an entire year? Would you stand in line for 24 hours?
Maybe. I don't know if I wasn't here, maybe.
Yeah.
Meet some loyal customers with their eye on the prize next on LEX 18 News at 6.